Welcome to the How to Heal podcast, the show where we explore real life stories and practical tools to thrive. I'm your host, Lindsay, and through over a 15-year journey of all things healing, I'm here to hook you up. If you are feeling overwhelmed, looking for a deeper connection, or straight up in a psycho-spiritual crisis, I got you covered. Let's unearth your unique elixir to purpose, peace, and progress. Here we go. Welcome to the How to Heal podcast. I'm Lindsay. I'm so happy to be back. It's been a 3-month hiatus and it's been worth it. I felt like I was showing up weekly to be accountable, which was cool, but I really wanted to take a step back and recalibrate and upgrade and integrate all the things I preach. So going forward, I will be issuing an episode once a month. And because I've been watching how viewership has been coming in and seeing what you guys like, I'm going to keep it simple. Keep it simple, silly head. And I'm going to talk about physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and core energetics. That's what I'm going to keep it down to. So they'll be a little bit more in depth and a little bit more grounded, so we can really hone in on what is going to work for you, where you need to focus your attention, and what's going to get you the most bang for your buck in going forward. By the way, these glasses, what do you think? They're crazy, right? They're like blue light blocking glasses. They're a little intense. I don't know if I can see myself wearing these, but I thought I'd just show up in the first episode with them because they're funny. Okay. So this month, we're talking about physical energetics. And physical energetics is just the physical pillar of health. And that's how I refer to, because energetics really implies the multi-dimensional part of our physical health. Our physical health directly relates to our mental and emotional health. And the more we get our physical body in tip-top shape, where it's functioning optimally, we're able to free up space for our mental and emotional bodies to do further healing. That's all I'm going to mention about mental and emotional, but it's important for you to know why we want to start with the body. The body is what grounds us to the earth. We are living a human experience. And we can't just go after like the spiritual stuff or the mental health and, feeling good. It's really about, is our body functioning optimally? And I'm going to put these on because the bags under my eyes are a little intense today. Even though my Aura ring told me I got 92% sleep. But what we're going to talk about today is just some core healing concepts from a physical standpoint and principles. The concepts and principles around physical healing. I'm going to go into some factors that you're going to want to consider. As you listen through this episode, I'm going to cover a lot. But what I want you to do is listen to where your instinct is telling you, I want to check that out. I'm curious about that. I want to check that out. Or, that's definitely me. So I'm going to tighten up there. And again, I'm going to give you a lot on this episode, but what I would really love is if you took a few concepts and you just went all in. And maybe it's only 2, maybe it's only 1. I remember wanting to start the world, like I was working and I needed to lose weight and I needed to do all of these things. And my husband's just like, just focus on one thing. You have a lot going on. Just focus on one thing you want to add to your life. And I focused on weight loss. And honestly, when you carry weight, fat is excess energy that is sticking to your body that your body needs to process constantly. So it's not necessarily about, oh, I want to look good. That's definitely an added benefit. But weight loss and trimming your fat is healthy for your body. It allows your body to function optimally. It allows your body to function optimally. So it's not about just feeling good. It's about actually being good, like your body actually functioning optimally. Okay, enough with the functioning optimally. And then the last thing I want to leave you with is some questions that I want you to ask yourself and some takeaways from what I'm talking about to sum it all up. So, our body, if we go back to it functioning optimally, is a healing machine. Our bodies are designed to heal. When you get a cut, what happens? The blood cells rush to the area, create clots, and stop it from bleeding. I mean, that's incredible, right? So, on a cellular level, the mitochondria are constantly working to heal your body on a cellular level. Now, I don't want to go into all the things you should take, the glutathione, all the detoxing and all that stuff. I'll talk about it just a little bit, but I want you to just really appreciate that concept. My body really has my back. And a lot of us get sick and we're like, my body has failed me. My body turned its back on me. And it's just because we didn't give it the proper conditions. We didn't give it the proper attention, and we ignored warning signs after warning signs that caused it to create unhealthy cells that are reciprocating. So I really believe that our body is our temple. And, it's so much easier to say and then to sometimes feel it, and then for the feeling to fleet, and for it to disappear, and for you to be like, I don't know how to connect with my body. And I get that. That's why yoga is so important, guys. That's why breathing is so important, because when we slow down, we're able to tap into the calming nature that provides space for our body to heal. But when we think about the concept of our body being our temple, what we put into our body, how we treat our body, the reverence we bring to our body, the thoughts we think into ourselves. These are all things that are contributing to whether our body is healing or not. And from the broader concept of healing, your body just needs space. It's like, imagine if you're constantly micromanaging someone to do something and they're like a creative and you're like, no, do it this way, do it this way. The person has no agency to perform the way they're meant to perform, the way their natural flow state is. So when we think about healing, we don't want to add a ton of stuff on all the time. We want to get to the place where we can take away. We can create space, and we can give the body natural elements and bring it into a natural state of flow with the light and the earth and the water and the elements, right? So we just want to recognize that our body is constantly adapting. It's constantly optimizing with what it has. And most people are disconnected from their bodies. Let's face it, like in a world where we are rushing and constantly consuming and indoors and watching fearful things on television and listening to music that's even instilling fear. The state of the world causes a lot of fear in our bodies. And, we're talking about parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system responses. We are constantly, we want to be in the parasympathetic, but we can't be because we're hypervigilant about managing not only the external stresses, but our stresses, from that we've accumulated and our traumas that we've accumulated over our life. So now I'm not going to go into mental and emotional, but like the physical is where we start so we can free up some space so we can start to process those types of traumas that we're carrying along the way that are more internal. Because the physical health is the foundation that everything else sits on. Physical health, it can be the most complicated just due to the state of the world that we live in today. I'm going to go into that a little bit, but just the fact that we need to start with the physical. You want to heal something mentally, you start grounding yourself in the physical. So you can give your space to get there. Give yourself space to get there. We were never designed for these levels of stress. Our bodies were never designed for these levels of stress. Between environmental toxins, processed food, excess sugar, sedentary lifestyle, constant stimulation, lack of sleep, lights that are going into our eyes that are triggering, it's not time to sleep, and then we have to go to sleep. Chronic cortisol exposure, again, that fight or flight response that our body produces cortisol, and then inflammation, all the things. So when we talk in this episode, we're going to address the body. And I heard, this is not my analogy, but I heard it because I'm in a program called Primal Bod. Throwing them a bone here. She's pretty awesome. Her name is Candy Frazier. In the, it was actually like a call, like an intro call. I had already joined the program, but I went on this call and I heard her husband using this analogy of a television. And imagine, or a computer even, and imagine your computer or television has all these cords plugged in and they're tangled, and some of them are like frayed, and some of them are, you left some back there because you got a new cord and you put it in. They're just like a bunch of tangled nest of cords. That is what you're putting in your body. So what we do is I love this analogy, is you take all the cords, you turn the television off, you take all the cords, you look at what you're putting into it, you organize them, and you plug everything back in, and it's beautiful and seamless, and you know exactly what's going on, you know what's going in, you know what's going out, you know what's communicating with what. And that's how we want to look at our physical health. We want to know what works. We want to know what detracts. We want to be realistic and like, hey, we need this cord. It doesn't look so pretty, but we need it because, we need to connect to HDMI or whatever it is. But, it's like we are living in a modern world where we really wish sometimes that we didn't have the cell phone attached to us, or we wish that we didn't have to, use gas and pollute the earth, or all those things that are modern conveniences, but are actually hurting Gaia and our bodies. We're going to be really honest about what those have to be. And we're going to look at how we can offset the harms of those influences. And we're going to create clarity. That's the point of this episode. I'm going to give you a lot of information, and I don't want you to take everything and be like, oh my God, but I want you to leave with some clarity on, this is what I want to work on. She talked about 15 different things, but this is the thing that I want to really start to hone in on and learn more about. And the best way to implement, especially around physical health, is to listen to audiobooks or consume content where you can constantly be around the content so you can stay motivated and aware and educated. So I want you to think about, for you right now, as we go into this episode, what conditions help your body heal? Do you know that? Do you know that for yourself? For me, it was always water. Water feels very good to drink. Movement feels very good to do. And sleep feels awesome. I know that, I think My sleep is probably the most important thing for my health because when I sleep, I repair. We all repair while we sleep. And then I want you to think about what conditions are blocking your healing. Are you smoking cigarettes? Are you binge drinking? Are you eating sugar constantly? Are you constantly stressed out? You know, I'm a mom of two little kids. I have high cortisol. I don't know what to do. It's part of my lifestyle right now. I can't step away from my daughter getting home on the bus and both of them needing me to hold them and cook for them and managing temper tantrums and breakdowns and homework and dinner. Like I just can't. It's part of my life. So I have to prepare and I have to really cushion the other areas of my life where I can heal and restore so that I can be primo in those moments of high stress. The biggest component of healing, guys, is what? What is it? I want you to tell me. Nutrition, right? It's what we eat. It's what we eat. We are literally just a mass, and then we consume things into our body and put them in our organs, our large intestine, our small intestine, our stomach. It goes through a system in our body and excretes whatever was in it. So we have to use food as information for what is going to heal our body. And in a world where sugar is the main ingredient because of cost efficiency for the people that are making it, because I want you to think about this. The Industrial Revolution happened like at the end of the 1800s. That's when our great grandparents were born. If you're like in your 30s, like mid to late 30s, mid to early 40s, like those are our great grandparents. My great grandfather was born in like 1894. He wasn't affected by ultra processed, highly corn, sugar, basically anything that can preserve food, make you addicted to food. That wasn't in the game. So this is a relatively new thing, which is why we have to stay vigilant on what we put in our body because we don't know the long-term effects of it. It's just like AI. We are hyper vigilant whether we like it. We have to be hyper vigilant whether we like it or not, and we are hyper vigilant whether we like it or not because we are consuming things that are so brand new, that are so toxic that can be toxic, right? Like AI, it serves as good purposes. It can also be super toxic. So how are you consuming? How are you consuming these things in your body? Just as a side note here, what I'm learning from this program that I'm in Primal Bod, protein, especially for women, is important. Why? Because it feeds the cells that need to be fed exactly the source of what it needs. So when you eat sugar, it breaks down. It needs to break down and break down and break down until it provides any sort of energy. Even carbohydrates need to break down into glucose, and then it's not a direct nutrient source. But when we eat protein, it is a direct nutrient source for our brain and our muscles and the proteins in our body. So really think about, I know, and I've been vegan, like I've been vegan, I've been vegetarian, I've been pescatarian, I've done all these different diets. I feel sharpest when I eat meat because I hate to say it, right now it's the cleanest freaking source of food that we're getting, right now. Like all of our fruits and vegetables are sprayed with pesticides and everything else. So just a little note on protein. I'm on a protein kick right now. It's like nearly impossible to get the 90 to 120 a day that are recommended, but I feel pretty freaking good doing it. So just a note here on the Primal Bod thing, if you're interested in that, go take a look at it. She really emphasizes protein and getting 90 to 120 grams a day. The other thing I wanted to talk about, which I mentioned briefly, is hydration. So since I was in high school, I always had like a bottle of water in my hand. Now I use a Yeti because it's metal, it's not getting all the BPA's. The sad thing about water is that it's so contaminated now and it's dead. So I would drink so much water and I would still go to get facials and they're like, "Oh, you're dehydrated." And I'm like, "How? I drink so much water." And then I found a holistic doctor who was like, "Drink electrolytes." I'm like, "Oh, cool." So I went and I got Ultima Replenisher, which is a great entry point for electrolytes, but it has like artificial flavors. It's flavored like I liked the orange flavor and I was drinking that for 3 years. And then I joined this program and she's like, "No artificially flavored, just plain electrolytes." So I drank it and I'm like, "Oh my God, this is disgusting." um, it's not orange flavored. It's like a salt mineral flavor. And I had to get used to it. I'm used to it now. But the funny thing is like back in the day, I'd be like, "Am I addicted to water?" One of the girls that's like friends with my husband, her husband, she's like, "My emotional water bottle, my emotional support water bottle." It's like, yeah, I definitely do that. And now I'm like, not looking to consume so much water just to consume water, but I'm looking to mindfully consume um, optimized water. And I think about this a lot. Like, we're in a place now where our ecosystem is hurting. Our water systems are not pure. Our water has been contaminated and polluted. The ground has been contaminated and polluted. So we're in like a Wally type living situation where we really have to get a little bit scientific about what we're consuming and how we're consuming it. The emotional support water bottle, like that's dying a little bit. I don't want to be drinking so much water every day just to think that it's going to help me lose weight. I want to drink water mindfully and be respectful of it and have it be like a high energy activity that I'm doing, not just chugging because I'm like feeling stressed or just looking to, force something. And again, I mean, I don't need to tell you this, but the whole thing about our body holding on to fat is like an insulin resistance issue, which is why diabetes is rampant and why, um, you know, I mean, it's so easy nowadays to just be like, "Why don't you just take Ozempic? You want to lose weight? Why don't you just take Ozempic?" And I'm not going to go into a whole tangent on why I don't think you should take Ozempic because I think that's like it's good for some people, and I don't think other people should be taking it. And I think that the people who are taking it and they shouldn't be taking it, no, they shouldn't be taking it. And the side effects remain to be seen. And, kind of gambling there. We're living longer than ever, and we're messing with, the reward centers in our brain um, and the functioning optimization of how insulin works in our body. But that's a real thing. And that's a real thing that's like everyone's doing it. So why does it, like why don't I just do it? And I talk about integrity and just like not the hard way out, but the honest way out. And the way out that you'd be proud of. So when we talk, also just talking about nutrition is gut health. And if you grew up in the 80s, or the 90s, or I mean, even if like we were eating Gushers and, what was that? Spaghettios and Dunkaroos and the cheese with the cracker. Like we were just eating processed foods for such a long time that the microbiome in our gut, the healthy bacteria in our gut has built up. And something that I've been doing over the last couple of years is working on a cleansing lifestyle, consuming green juice with no sugar, like just straight up green juice with some lemon, and working on detoxing and elimination, because parasites live in our gut. And we have to get them out. We have to get them out. So that's another thing to look into if you're interested in that. I used Natalia Rose as her program. She has like a device that she sells to help you with that. Otherwise, you can use an enema, but she gives you a lot of good information on like what's normal, what's not normal, and detoxing the parasites from our body. Also like mold, like, I mean, any functional medicine doctor who's going to run your panel will let you know if you have high mercury, high molds, all those types of things. But we want to detox our body as well. And we just want to think about like, what are we eating on the day-to-day basis? You know, I said this in the last episode, I think like the three things, it's like what we ate, how we moved, and how we slept is dictating how we feel. So as we go into movement, like we were built to move. We have muscle in our body because we are meant to move. However you want to move, awesome. Just move. Like if you want to dance, if you want to walk, if you want to play Wii Fit. I feel like that's so old. I don't even know if that's still a thing. Nintendo Switch, sports, like whatever, swimming. I love yoga. It's my favorite way of moving for my mental and emotional body as well. But strength training, as we get older, we need muscle not to break down. We need muscle not to break, even just walking, especially women. Mobility, which is just how can you move without hurting or pulling a muscle, stretching, and your cardiovascular health. I have very fierce body structure. I have a lot of muscle. I always did. I'm going to be 44 this month. And I still like, you know, my body is definitely changing. But I think that I can see that my body is not as optimal as it once was. But the way that I keep it optimal is by building muscle. And after having 2 kids and 2 C-sections, mobility, where my scar is, strengthening my pelvis and my pelvic floor, my abs, keeping my legs strong, my tushy, like firm, like that not only does it look good, it feels good. So that's longevity insurance right there. Because, and I know everyone's like, oh, she's on the weight loss bandwagon. It's like, I'm not just on the weight loss bandwagon. I want to lose weight because I want to feel free. I want to feel free in my body. I don't feel like holding on to all this excess fat that is other people's shit that I'm holding on to. I'm ready to let it go. So that's why I'm focusing on protein. That's why I'm focusing on no sugar. And that's why I'm focusing on building muscle, because not only do I not want to be holding other people's shit, I want to look a certain way. I want to feel proud of my body. I've worked so hard in my life to be where I am. I want to be proud of the way I look. And I am proud of the way I look. If you were to be like, go out tonight and wear this fabulous dress, I would feel amazing no matter what weight I was. But now at this point in my life, I'm in my boss era and I'm going to look the way I want to fucking look. On my terms, not on Ozempic's terms. Because another side note on Ozempic is that you lose muscle and then it's harder to build it back. Okay, last dig on Ozempic. Recovery, I talked about this a little bit. Sleep, rest, breathing, meditation, beta, healing waves, getting into a parasympathetic state where you feel relaxed and calm and present. How well are you resting? What time do you go to bed? Do you look at screens before you go to bed? Do you sleep next to your phone? Every night I got this like silk pillow that has a Velcro on the back that I can make tight and like completely block out light. And I sleep with that. I also use a mantra sometimes when I sleep. Um, I did a meditation. Um, oh, I forgot the name of it. Emily Fletcher is the name of the woman who does the meditation, Zeta healing or something, Zeta meditation. I don't know. That's not what it's called, but look up Emily Fletcher if you're interested. Fletcher. She gives you a few different mantras. She introduces you how to meditate for like 20 minutes, 2 times a day, and it freaking works. So if you're interested in learning how to meditate, go do this. Go look her up and go do her program. It's like less than $150 from what I recall. Maybe it's $200 at the most. And it is so good. But one of the things that she gives you is like you get to pick one out of 3 mantras to say. And I picked Swaha. So I did the meditation for a long time and I use that mantra, Swaha, Swaha. And she teaches you how to do it. But now when I'm sleeping and I can't fall asleep, I use the mantra. I use the mantra and it helps me fall asleep. There's another trick that I saw that I wanted to just, oh, hold on a second. So there's this other technique that I saw online where it's like you look to all the way to the left, you look all the way to the right, you do a 360 in both directions, and you do that with your eyes closed. Give that a try. I've heard it works great. For me, the Swaha really just puts me in the zone because I have trained myself to get into a meditative state through meditation. So yeah, go check out Emily Fletcher and her, it's just the Z, I think, the meditation program that she sells and teaches. Because when we sleep, and I talked about this in the beginning, we want to give our body space to do its thing. We don't want to inundate it with different sort of hormones and chemicals that are being produced by our brain, by the way we're responding to our external world and the food that we're taking in. So hopefully we're in a fasted state while we're sleeping. Our body can do its thing. Our body has the freedom to do what it needs to do without us getting in the way. Because when we have REM sleep and we have deep sleep, we restore on a cellular level, both mind and body. For me, my sleep routine is like once 8 o'clock rolls around, I know it's like getting ready for bedtime. Once 9 o'clock rolls around, I'd love to be like in my bed with a book, without my phone, maybe laying on my neck massager. I also really love to massage my feet and my hands with whatever, I have like this cracked foot lotion balm that I got from a podiatrist that I use sometimes. I use this really yummy Sleepy Time cream from Lush that I got that smells nice and helps you sleep. But I think it has magnesium in it. But just like legs up against the wall before you sleep, anything to get into your body and just like relax and be present with your body before you go to sleep instead of just, turning the light. Just imagine being in a room and like just straightening up a little bit in the room before you turn the lights off, not just flipping the switch off and the room is a mess. So that you give your body the space to do what it needs to do, and you give your mind the space to shut down and purge and go through REM and do what it needs to do and process what it needs to process. So, right hand in hand with rest and nervous system recovery is substance. And substance is a really important subject for me. I will be alcohol free for 4 years this coming September. And I, I don't party like I used to. I used to be a smoker. I used to drink like 4 quads, which is 4 shots of espresso, like over ice. When I worked at Starbucks, I would just go into the coffee kitchen and drink those like they were like it was like my cocaine, like that was my amphetamines to get through the day. Um, I've come a very, very long way in allowing my nervous system to relax. And I still have tendencies to behave like an addict. Um, and I didn't have the kind of addiction, especially around alcohol, where it was like derailing my life. If anything, I was like, that high functioning addict. And I say that word and I think that people get very scared around that word. They're like, oh my God, like I don't work a program, not because I have anything against it, because I don't need to, but I know I have it if I need it. I've been to a couple of meetings. I feel like meetings give you a space to feel connected to people who are on a similar mission to make their lives better. And that's the beauty of AA, of MA, of any sort of sobriety program. People are being vulnerable, sharing their mistakes and their vulnerability to want to be better people. And that type of environment is a very uplifting and enriching experience that creates connection and gives you sustained food for your heart and for your emotional health and for your motivation to keep going. So, substance abuse, looks different for a lot of different people. Even just smoking cigarettes, coffee. It really is a way to just be separate from your body. Distract. It's too painful. It's too slow. I can't walk through it. I'm just going to speed it up right now with a substance. And, I think that we have to be careful with that now that weed is legal, and it's like it's heavy. Like I just feel that it's not only physical substance, it's porn, it's social media, it's negativity, it's you could be addicted to anything. So just be aware of what you depend on to get away from yourself, because it may be too slow and too uncomfortable to move slowly through your life. Last week I woke up a few days early and I took walks. I took a half-an-hour walk. It was glorious. I haven't done it again this week, but it was like something that I've been meaning to do, and I have to wake up really early to do it. But now that it's nice on the East Coast, I can actually start to do that. So, I think that waking up in natural sunlight is something that's really, luxurious and beneficial to help the circadian rhythm, to help let you know, okay, sun's out, vitamin D straight into the eyes. I feel good. I feel awake. I feel, nourished. It also helps you sleep. It also helps you offset the blue light that you get from your screen all day long. And I swear to God, the phone is straining my eyes so much that I can barely even see anymore. And I keep the light low on my phone because I feel like that bright light in my face all the time is like not good. But then I feel like the dimmed light is like making me strain my eyes. So it's just like damned if you do, damned if you don't with these silly clown LED blue light blocking glasses. But spend time outside as much as you can. We're not going to get away from the phone. We're not going to get away from the laptop or the TVs, but we can spend time outside as much as we can. And be present in nature and be present with our families, and our loved ones and our friends. So the next few topics I'm going to talk about, I'm very passionate about, and it's basically aesthetics and what that means to you. I did an episode on crafting your authentic image. When we think about physical health, it's not just, our bodies, it's also like how we dress our bodies, how we adorn our bodies, how we treat our skin, what rituals we bring to our bodies. Like I said, our body is our temple. What rituals are we bringing to our temple to celebrate our physical bodies? And before we get into those adornments, we obviously have to talk about body image. Because if we don't feel good about our body, how are we going to adorn it? It's that expression, put lipstick on a pig. It's very common in real estate. So I think of it. They refer to that by just doing like a shitty renovation and not like a full gut renovation. But it's like, you got to think about, my husband and I joke, my slogan's always like looking good, feeling good. It's like, do you want to just look good? No, you want to feel good. And, do you want to feel good? No, you also want to look good. Like, it's fun. It's fun to look good. It's fun to feel confident. It is fun to show up in your most vibrant way. We don't have to hide our natural beauty. And when I say like aesthetic, I say aesthetic because everybody has a different aesthetic. My look is not for everyone and everyone else's look is not for me. We have authentic versions of ourselves that we should express that feel natural and beautiful. And that's how we harness our individual creativity and self-expression. Because your self-worth is tied to your appearance. And I know that's like a tough thing to say when you feel like maybe you've given up on your physical appearance or you just don't prioritize it. But it absolutely is. And you don't need to go spending tons of money on clothes but you have to take pride in how you show up physically in this world. Like, look at your lips. Are they all cracked and like jacked up? Lick them. Rub the dead skin off. Put some moisturizer on your lips. Get a haircut that flatters your face. Wear clothes that are high quality, even if it's just cotton, that look good, that fit your body properly. It's fun. Look at the shape of your body. Dress it the way it flatters you. Dress yourself the way you feel most confident. This is like the fun part of having a body, to be self-expressive with it. I talked about this on Instagram last week. It's about your values. What is important to you and how do you represent that in your personal life? How do you represent that like in your body? We have to have, we move through this world with integrity and it shows. So how are you bringing integrity into your body? And how can you appreciate your body while still wanting to improve it? How can you bridge the gap between the 20 pounds that you want to lose or the 10 pounds that, the 30 pounds that you want to lose, the 100 pounds that you want to lose? How do you bridge the gap between I'm here, I want to be there, I'm working towards there. I'm not just going to focus on the fact that I'm working towards there to get to the end. I'm going to actually focus on the space where I marry the two bridges and I'm saying, I'm doing this because I love my body. I love this part of my body, even though it doesn't look the way I want it to look. I love the way this part of my body looks. And how can we celebrate our body the way it is right now so that we can love on ourselves? Because when we love on our body is like a plant. It grows in that direction. When we hate on our body, it contracts. So we want to love on our body so that we can be in a further state of healing. I talked about weight loss. I talked about the sugar, the excess carbs, all of the processed foods. I'm not going to go into that too much, but again, like the excess fat is just extra energy that we have to manage. And it's not about shrinking. It's not about shrinking. It's about being lean and muscular and strong and confident and free in our bodies. And when we look at the beauty industry and like Botox and fillers and all this cosmetic work, and it's like, that's not beautiful. I'm sorry. Like Jeff Bezos's wife is not beautiful. It looks like, I don't know. It just is not authentic. I think authentic is beautiful. Authentic is beautiful, not frozen. We can freeze our wrinkles, but we're hiding our experiences. So why would we want to do that? I just sit with that. Like, why are we doing that? Because we want to look young forever, but it's like no one examined from the beginning what was going on. That's why people want to look young forever, because they're not examining themselves. There's so much more depth to life. Like, I want to age gracefully in a natural beauty. Yes, of course, I worry that this little thing in my neck has like pulls and I have like a neckline or a neck vein or whatever. Yeah, it's not ideal. And sometimes I'm like, maybe I will get my neck done when I get older. And I'm not putting judgment on that because maybe one day I will want to do that. I think about it now. I think about it. But then I also think about the women that are just so beautiful and that are aging with grace, without filler, without Botox, without Ozempic. It's like, just take care of your body from the inside out, and it's so much more gorgeous than fake, my opinion. So the last thing I want to just talk about is the physical manifestation of stress and how that really affects every part of, your facial appearance, the way your body looks, cellulite, hair loss, wrinkles, bad gut health, exhaustion, all of the things, muscle tension, autoimmune issues, digestive issues. We really want to monitor the stress. And, when we just tie it all together, that's what we want to alleviate. We want to alleviate the stress so that we give our body the freedom to heal, to restore, to optimize its natural systems of healing, so that we can heal in our sleep, heal through our movement, heal in the sun, heal through laughter, and heal through the present moment. So here's some questions that I'm going to leave you with. What are you putting into your body daily? Can you make a list of like the things that are, forget about the healthy things. Let's think about the bad things so that we can maybe eliminate one of them. And hopefully the healthy things are, nutritious water with electrolytes, and high quality organic vegetables and proteins, grass-fed meat, and whatever nutrients and supplements you may need from a functional medicine perspective. I've been taking, I finally got on the glutathione NAD plus and like trend. I had a dream about it and I was like, all right, if I had a dream about it, I probably need to take glutathione. So like, what are you doing to support your body by the things that you're putting in it? And what are you doing to detract from your body by the things that you're putting in it? And look at both of those things and focus on the good ones and take away the bad ones. And what are you asking your body to tolerate? Are you asking your body to tolerate overworking and lack of sleep? Are you asking your body to tolerate high levels of stress with no recuperation? Are you asking your body to tolerate excess levels of working out because you think that's what's going to get you fit? You know, we have to be honest about the limits of our physical bodies and the need for it to restore. What are you dependent on in your body? This comes down to the substance situation, the substance conversation that I talked about. Are you dependent on coffee? Are you dependent on cigarettes? Are you dependent on alcohol? How can we break down those dependencies more and more and more and get more honest about why we're using those dependencies? And what are you ignoring? What does your body need more of? And what does your body need less of? So the main takeaways from this podcast episode are going to be: remove what harms your body, add what helps, know and trust your body is meant to heal itself naturally. We are born to heal. We are born to restore. Give yourself the solace in knowing that your body can and will heal in the proper conditions. So that's it for this month. And I cannot wait to see you guys in July. Just a side note here, if you're not following me on Instagram, you'll get some more insight throughout the month on @HowToHeal. And feel free to reach out if this is an episode that you enjoyed, that you liked, that you have something to contend with me. Reach out. You can reach out at lindsaytremarkypodcast@gmail.com. And that's it, guys. So I hope you have a great month. It's my birthday month. And I'm going to be celebrating 44 years of age. And, you know, I love my birthday. So wish me happy birthday too. I love you guys. Bye.